Hi. So let's get started. It looks like we have a big group here. So we may, without further ado, let's get started. So today you are here to learn about how to find profit-driving keywords that you can actually rank for. The reason why this webinar came to me was because I had a client come to me. She had actually been blogging for the last 8 years. When we looked at her traffic, nothing was happening. Now, of course, she didn't spend any money on an expensive SEO firm. She wasn't doing any search engine optimization. She wasn't terribly technical, but she was blogging, and we have all heard that content is king. So one must blog in order to have Google recognize you. Well, she was doing that, looking at her traffic. Nothing was happening. And for a gal to blog religiously for 8 years and get no love from Google, that, my friends, is a travesty. So what did we do? We went in, we found some keywords for her. We ran a keyword report of some keywords that she could actually rank for, things that weren't terribly competitive, but that she could actually rank for. She started blogging around these keywords with a couple of tips from me. Again, no SEO firm. She didn't hire anybody. And she started gaining some traffic from Google. So without further ado, here is the webinar on how to find profit-driving keywords that you can actually rank for. Let me turn on my PowerPoint presentation here. For some reason, it's cutting off, right? Is it cutting off for you guys? Probably so. Let's see what's happening here. Oops. Oh gosh. Let's go. Sorry about that. Let's go back again. Previous. Let's see. Come on, Google. Don't embarrass me now, right? Let's try that. There we go. So there's my beautiful title screen, how to find profit-driving keywords that you can actually rank for. So that being that, I will actually introduce myself. Why One-Click Lindsey? Why is my nickname One-Click Lindsey? Well, that's what people call me. I'll go to conferences. People will literally call me One-Click Lindsey. Why? Well, because I was at a client, I was helping a client one time, I guess it wasn't an afternoon, and he was having a hard time making his website and his web presence work for him. He was like, what is the point of a website anyway? No one even contacts me for this at all. So what's the point? And so I instructed him the ways of online marketing. We got a really cool opt-in set up. Essentially, he was a chiropractor. He specialized in pregnancy chiropractic care. We made a really cool opt-in that was essentially 10 ways to relieve your pregnancy back pain. Young ladies from around town would opt in for this. And then he would send them an email sequence telling them more ways that they could relieve their pregnancy back pain. And eventually, hey, before you have that baby, come and get your pelvis adjusted so there's plenty of room for that baby to come out. He had built so much trust among these pregnant gals that his office filled up. So, and that was all on autoresponders and sequences. So it did take some time to kind of massage the AdWords campaign and massage the Facebook campaign in order for it to click. But I kept saying to him, doctor, if we can just get the people to make that one click, they will love you and they will come to you. Get them to make that one click and opt in. And so one evening after a particularly successful night of getting leads, after it was a bit of a dry spell, that first month is always hit and miss because we're trying to really hone in on the market. I called him. He said, well, if it isn't One-Click Lindsey. So I adopted that. I thought it kind of matched, and it's very cute. I like it. So One-Click Lindsey, that is my name. Everyone knows me by that. My page is that. My blog is that. Everything is that. So that's why they call me One-Click Lindsey. A little bit about myself. I live here in Portland, Oregon, and it's beautiful. The gray is here, and I have 3 children. I love to go boating, which is why I'm showing this picture boating on the lake with my 2 kids. My latest addition would be too young to go out on the boat with us, as he is only a mere 6 weeks old. And yes, I'm holding a webinar 6 weeks postpartum, but I love what I do so much that that is why I'm here today. So let's move on. Enough about me. How about you? So let's talk about expectations and assumptions for this webinar. Some SEO experts, myself included, would come to a webinar like this and say everything that I'm teaching would not produce massive results. And that is true. What we are talking about here, ladies and gentlemen, are I want to make search engine optimization and keyword research accessible to you as a non-technical user, and to you as a person who's running a small business with a small budget, and to you as someone who's not even sure if the web is the place to be. I want it to be accessible to you. I want you to be able to understand it. So that is very true. There are amazing ways to utilize search engine optimization and get some massive traffic to your website. What I will be training you to do today is kind of a slow but sure growth and ways that you can actually start getting noticed by Google. I had a customer do exactly what we're talking about, and these are her statistics. You'll notice back in July of 2014, she was getting pretty much zero traffic to her website. And now in September 2016, not utilizing a professional SEO firm, she gets over 8,000 people to her website a month. And that's all by knowing exactly what the perfect keywords are and how to and utilizing them while she blogs, writes content for her website and whatnot. So again, this is just getting you on the right path of keyword research and knowing exactly so that you're not blogging for no reason. A few things I don't want you to forget before we dive into how you know which keywords to be using is Google Analytics. I want to make sure that you have Google Analytics installed on your website. Why? Because if just like the previous post that showed you some amazing analytics, if you're blogging and you're focusing on keywords, we got to make sure that you are actually achieving some goals. So we want to make sure you are driving traffic, that things are actually happening or something is going wrong. So make sure you have Google Analytics installed on your website or some form of analytics software. Google Analytics is free. If you don't know what that is, if it's installed, pay me 25 bucks, I will install it for you, and you'll be on your merry way. If you're in WordPress, which many of you are, you will want to make sure there's some wonderful plugins that are even more simplistic than Google Analytics that you'll want to have installed. But you'll still want to have Google Analytics installed anyway, even if you never look at it. One day you'll hire a firm like mine, and we will really want access to your Google Analytics. Now, next thing, do not forget, please do not forget the whole reason why we are doing this. It's not just to drive traffic. I could drive traffic from the other side of the world to your website all day long and boost your website traffic to be 10 million people in one day. Well, maybe not 10 million, but 10,000 people in one day. But if they are not qualified traffic, then then it's pretty pointless to do this. So I want to make sure you know that you're writing relevant content, you're getting relevant people, and you're writing for those relevant keywords that will actually bring you business. And if you're bringing traffic to your website, you must make sure that you're collecting the all valuable email addresses. Now, I'll be giving a webinar on that particular topic, opt-ins and autoresponder sequences, in a few weeks, so make sure you stay tuned for that. However, please note you're driving traffic to collect email addresses. So, for example, just wanted to give you a quick example of my client. She is a naturopath, and one of her specialties is estrogen deficiency. So she wrote this nice article about estrogen deficiency. We found these perfect profit-driving killer keywords: estrogen deficiency, list out the deficiency of estrogen, etc. You can see them here on my screen. So she's driving traffic through this blog post to that page that you see previously. And then when people get to that page, then voila, here is a beautiful opt-in. We're asking for their email address. And again, I will go in depth into this particular topic in another webinar. But if you're just driving traffic and you're not collecting leads, it will be pretty pointless. So make sure that you're doing that. Just wanted to quickly remind you of that. Now, let's dive into the content. How search engines work. Well, search engines make money. So Google is one of the most is very, very wealthy. And why is that? Because every time in Google I type in red shoes, Google returns very relevant results to my search. And they are trying to figure out what I am thinking so they can return the most relevant search. If I type in red shoes into Google and it returned blue shoes, I wouldn't go to Google again. I'd probably go to Bing or Yahoo or whoever was giving the most relevant results. This is why Google has come out as a front runner in all the search engines, is because they give extremely relevant results. They're trying to figure out what we are thinking, and essentially that's why they're the number one. So let me give you, and also as part of that, because Google is number one, when you go into Google and I type in, for example, as you can see on my screen here, mermaid tails. Yes, I have a client that sells mermaid tails. They're extremely successful. Whoever ranks first in mermaid tails down here where it says swimmable mermaid tails for kids and adults, whoever is in the first 1, 2, or 3 is probably making the very most money off of said mermaid tails, where if you are on page 5, 6, or 7, then obviously you're not making as much money. So that is search engine optimization and being on the search engines is extremely, extremely competitive. So you want to make sure, so that's why we're going to select keywords. That's why we want to get to the top of the search engines, and that is how search engines work. So I have 6 steps to find profit-driving keywords that we're going to be covering in this webinar. First of all, you're going to want to make a seed keyword list. Next, you're want to utilize a keyword research tool, which we will go over. Then I'm going to teach you how to determine the popularity of a keyword. Then I'm going to help you determine the value of a keyword. Then you'll perform a competitive analysis, and then you'll perform some on-page SEO. I'm going to teach you how to do all of this in the next 20 minutes, and it's not hard, I promise. Step 1, seed keyword list. These are sometimes called header keywords. Basically, you're going to want to go and brainstorm, and you're going to want to bring up an Excel spreadsheet, which I actually did for our discussion here. Bring up a spreadsheet, and we're going to actually go back to the naturopath example, and you're going to want to write down everything you think someone would type into Google in order to come to your website. So, of course, I'm writing down naturopath, naturopathic doctor, naturopathic practitioner, naturopathic physician, all those things that you think someone would type in to come to your website. Well, if you run out of ideas, there's a couple of other places you can go, and I will go over those, but essentially you're going to want to make sure that, or not make sure, but you're going to want your header keywords to be as relevant as possible. So you're going to want to brainstorm. You can go to thesaurus.com and try to come up with other words. In fact, when I went to thesaurus.com, that is where I got the keywords for doctor. I found practitioner and physician. Another excellent place is Wikipedia. You're going to want to check out your competition and miscellaneous other websites. Look at how awesome Wikipedia was when I was coming up with my seed keyword list. I went to Wikipedia, I looked up naturopathy, and I came up with naturopathic medicine, alternative medicine, homeopathy, herbalism, acupuncture. Look at all of these amazing keywords that I was able to add to my header keyword list, which you will see again in Excel. Simple Excel spreadsheet, literally just puke out all of the words that you possibly think could apply to your, that you think people would type in to bring your website up. Then I went to the competition. I went to Google and I typed in naturopathic doctor, and I got a whole bunch more just from the search engine results. Holistic care, naturopathic physicians, natural medicine, naturopathic and Chinese medicine, and all of these ended up on that spreadsheet. Or miscellaneous websites. I went to naturopathic.org, seems pretty reputable, and basically they are defining what is a naturopathic doctor. And I found a whole bunch more keywords that I can put on my spreadsheet. Oh, allergies, perhaps someone's searching for allergies or chronic pain or digestive issues. I would want them to come to my website. And so that is, look at all these keywords that I was able to get just based on those sources alone. So basically when I first sat down, I came up with 5 or 6, and I was able to expand this to 27. So now that you have your header keywords, you're going to go on to the next step, which is utilizing a keyword research tool. Now, there's a ton of keyword research tools. In fact, this isn't even all of them. If you look at my paid list, you'll see Word Tracker, SEMrush, KeywordTool.io, Longtail Pro, Market Samurai. There's so many. We utilize 3 or 4 when we do keyword research for clients who want to run an SEO campaign, or for clients that want us to run a keyword analysis for them. But for you, what I've promised on this webinar is something accessible. So we're just going to use the very reliable, very useful, free Google AdWords Keyword Planner tool. And I'm going to show you how to use that. So bring up your handy dandy spreadsheet that you just created in the previous step, and I'm going to just take a group of keywords. So I think all of these kind of go together, and you're going to copy them. Then you're going to go to the Keyword Planner, which if you type into Google Keyword Planner tool, it'll ask you to sign up for an AdWords account. Basically, this is the tool that Google provides its advertisers with. And no, you don't even really have to put your credit card in or anything like that. Google will let you use this tool if you pretend that you're going to buy ads from them. But no, you will not have to buy anything. Essentially, get into the Keyword Planner, and again, you can just Google that and you'll be able to get there, and click on the Keyword Planner tool. Then you're going to paste all of your words in, just by groups. I'd recommend doing by groups, otherwise it might be a little overwhelming. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to hit Get Ideas. I'm going to go ahead and target Portland, English, and Google, but you can narrow that or broaden that however you wish. You can kind of play around in here. Then you're going to hit Get Ideas, and Google is going to spin and think about that for a minute, and it's going to spit you out a ton of keyword ideas. Look at all this stuff that didn't even make it on my spreadsheet. Herbal medicine, natural remedies, natural medicine, holistic nutrition, holistic doctor. Look at all these amazing things that didn't even show up on my spreadsheet. I'm going to tell you what these columns mean and what to look for in the future slides, but look at this gold mine. Let's see how many pages. 700 keywords just based on, again, just those initial ones that I had originally typed in. So I think there was like 6 or 7 that I originally put in. So Google is definitely going to be able to kick out an amazing amount of keywords because Google knows everything about us. So first things first, you're going to want to utilize a keyword research tool. Next, I'm going to talk just a little bit about another SEO term called long tail keywords. This is an SEO term. Don't turn off the webinar right now, but let me tell you a little bit about what it is. Essentially, this is how keywords go. You're going to have high volume, high competition keywords like law firm. And as the volume goes down, the competition for the keywords goes down. That makes perfect sense, right? So right here in this orange, you have Utah law firm. Typically, as an SEO company, when we're running an SEO campaign for a client, we usually tend to stay in this yellow. The red ones are extremely expensive. So law firm, tennis shoes, even red shoes, things that are like 2-word things, very popular, very broad. They're extremely expensive to rank for. So we usually hit this orange one. Today I'm going to tell you how to aim for this green one, which is easier to rank and easier, very low competition, but it's also easier to convert. So imagine how much better when you go to Google and you type in law firm, and you're actually a law firm in Utah, how many more clients do you think you'll actually get from law firm versus how do I hire a law firm in Utah? Yeah, law firm might be getting 1 million hits a month, but how do I hire a law firm? Maybe getting 100 hits a month, but if it's done correctly, a lot of those people will end up calling you. So long tail keyword is essentially more keywords, more descriptive. So law firm, Utah law firm, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 keywords. So back to our Google analysis, you're going to want to go after these long tail keywords because again, they're easier to rank, but they're also extremely easy to convert. So now that you have your list, in fact, I don't want to lose my window of my keyword planner. You have your list. Step 3 is to determine the popularity of the keyword. You want to even know if this keyword gets any traffic. So Google, being the wonderful, wonderful, helpful person that it is, will actually allow us to see the average monthly searches of all these keywords that we typed in. If I had typed in something that got 0, there would be a little dash there. And so Google's actually going to tell you if people are typing that in every month. And that was the problem that my client at the beginning of this webinar was having, was she was blogging around something that nobody ever even looked for on Google. Now, Google has changed a bit. They used to be a lot more specific about the numbers, and now they're more broad, where they're saying, 10 to 100, 100 to 1,000. Before, they were actually giving you the exact number. So is what you are looking for is the average monthly searches equals 100 to 1,000. Don't go, you can definitely, so don't go for any of these 0 to 10, because that means that no one is looking for them. So that would be a complete waste of time. So no one is looking up the word alternative medicine remedies. So you can just like move on past that until you get to the 10 to 100. Those would be extremely easy to rank for, and you could get up to 100 hits a month on that. And you'll also have to consider this is just Google traffic and not Bing and Yahoo traffic. But I would actually go up to 100. Look at all these pages, all these ideas. I would go up to where the key metric was 100 to 1,000 for the popularity of the keyword. Next, you're going to want to determine the value of a keyword. So you're going to want to ask yourself, is the keyword relevant to your website's content? Will the searcher be happy with what they find? Meaning, if they type in red tennis shoes and you're selling blue tennis shoes, are they going to be disappointed? Or if you're an MD and people are typing alternative medicine and they come up on a doctor's website, they're probably not going to be happy with what they find and leave. You're not going to convert that traffic. And finally, will this traffic result in money? So we had a client who was actually, she was in home care, and she was trying to get more home care clients. And we ended up ranking for home care, but everyone for some home care keyword. I'm sorry, I should have known the details of the story. My goodness. Anyway, it ended up that everyone who was hitting her site was actually looking for a home care job because of the way that we had structured that. So that was not resulting in money for her, the way that that keyword it was not valuable for her at all. But you also can look at the suggested bid, which Keyword Planner is giving you. So if you look at suggested bid, you'll see you'll want to keep that under $3, because if someone well, that's not a very good example. Alternative medicine schools is not a very good example. Let's go like this. Because of course you're not going to go after that keyword. Naturopath, 415. People typing in naturopath. Right now on Google, people are willing to pay $4.15 per click for when people type in naturopath. That's pretty high. That's pretty competitive. And if people are willing to spend $4.15, that means it's valuable to them. They're making money off that. I recommend keeping your suggested bid less than $3. So that is how you're going to find the perfect keyword. Finally, perform competitive analysis. Does this phrase return what I think it should? For example, I was doing some keyword research today for a client who performs adoptions, and she is looking for gals who are pregnant, looking to have their baby adopted out. So we ran some keyword analysis and found the word Arizona pregnant. And I thought, that's a pretty decent keyword. And it was getting a fair amount of traffic, and I thought that we could actually rank for it. So I typed that into Google, and Arizona pregnant apparently has to do with Grey's Anatomy. So yeah, that was not going to be an excellent keyword for my client who was looking for pregnant gals in Arizona, right? Because it all has to do with Grey's Anatomy. First of all, we're not going to be able to rank for it. Second of all, yeah, it's completely non-related to what she is looking for. So we X'd out that keyword. So you want to make sure that that phrase returns what you think it should. Now, what do the sites look like that are returned when I search for this look like? If you're getting, so like, let's just look up naturopath. If you're getting sites like Wikipedia or Yelp or edu sites or .org sites or news sites or sites that WebMD sites that you know, that you've heard of, you definitely don't want to go after those keywords if they are sitting at the top 5 or 10, because you're not going to beat out a .org site. You're not going to beat out a Wikipedia site. So for every keyword you select, run it in Google and see what the competition is. If the competition are sites you've never heard of, then chances are you'll be able to rank in the top 3. Again, our goal is to rank for the top 3 so we can bring in the most amount of traffic for it. So after you determine your keywords based on Google Keyword Planner and those metrics that I had just given you, then you're going to want to perform some on-page SEO for these keywords. And that is through the title tag, the page name, the meta description, outgoing links, image names, and content. You're going to want to use that keyword as much as you can within your blog post or your content. So if you're in WordPress, I would highly recommend you download a little plugin called Yoast SEO, and it will walk you through how to perform SEO on your blog post. So here's a blog post. This is my personal website, and this particular blog post gets a fair amount of traffic. I wanted to go after the keyword boost post because a lot of people on Facebook have questions on boosting a post in Facebook. So I wrote a blog post about boosting a post. Should you or shouldn't you do it? Down here at the bottom, Yoast SEO basically goes through and tells me all of the things that I need to do to correct my blog post in order to rank for that keyword. This is one of the amazing things about WordPress. Yoast SEO is free. You go find your keyword in the Google Keyword Planner. You plop it in here, focus keyword, and it basically walks you through massaging your blog post so that you can get credit for that keyword in Google. Pretty cool. So again, that link is Yoast SEO that you'll want to use. And get that installed, and it will walk you through all of the on-page SEO that you need to perform for that blog post and that keyword. So that is the 6 steps in order to find profit-driving keywords that you can actually rank for on Google. Pretty simple, right? Don't be overwhelmed. It's pretty simple, and you should be able to do it. Now, if it is overwhelming and you don't feel like doing it, again, there's a lot of in-depth things that we as an SEO firm do over at trafficandleads.com. I am offering to all webinar participants a do-it-yourself SEO quick start, where essentially for a grand investment, a total investment of $297, I will send you the following: a video tutorial on keyword research techniques, keyword phrase research and recommendations, which is basically a list of 300 of those super special profit-driving keywords that you can actually rank for. I will send you a Yoast SEO plugin video training on installation and use for those who are using WordPress to walk you through the on-page SEO. And I will also send you a Google Analytics 101 video training on what are the essential metrics that you need to look for in Google Analytics in order to track your progress. Once you get into Google Analytics, it can be super overwhelming. So I wanted to give you just a few hints on Google Analytics so you can make sure that you're actually tracking your results. So we will do that here at trafficandleads.com for $297. You'll have your keyword 300 perfect keyword recommendations in your hot little hands by a week from when you order. But you do need to order before 24 hours from when you watch this webinar. In order to get your order started, definitely email Lindsey at oneclicklindsey.com, and we will get you your perfect keyword phrase research and recommendations. That will start the conversation. But I did want to offer that to folks because even after I walk some clients through this training, they do end up feeling a little bit overwhelmed And I do like to offer our awesome quick start keyword list so they can actually get to what they love to do, which is blogging. And again, we do a bit more of an in-depth analysis with those other tools than just than I've taught you here. Again, the point was making keyword research very accessible to everybody. So thank you. Actually, I'm going to turn my face back on to say a proper goodbye. So thanks everybody for joining. It looks like we have lots of people still on. I really appreciate it. And it was good to, it was fun. And next week or next month, we're still trying to determine a schedule, but make sure you keep in touch because we will be giving a free webinar on the importance of opt-ins and email sequences. I'll be giving you all of my secrets to driving results, leads, and sales through the perfect opt-in and email sequence. So everybody have a wonderful evening, and we will talk to you soon. That's a wrap.